Hello, my name is Benjamin Hunsiker. Uh, for the UMass Undergraduate Research Conference, I will present my original work, the interactive fiction game Middleworld. Interactive fiction is like a modern digital equivalent of uh, those old choose your own adventure books, as well as text adventure games like Zork or The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy or uh, on the left there, Colossal Cave Adventure. Players read through a story told in a second person point of view, and frequently are presented with choices of what to do and where to go next. Depending on the choices the player makes, the story can change dramatically. Uh, Middleworld tells the tale of someone, uh, being the player, who has fallen out of time and space into a kind of pocket dimension between realities, that dimension being the titular middle world. There are 12 different realities, all connected to middle world, each of which corresponds to 1 hour of time, and they're all very different from one another. Most are inspired by different uh, genres of movies and books and other seminal works of fiction. There's like a Lovecraftian world, a Greek mythology based world, in a world based on old black and white cartoons. Uh, like the player, people, animals, and objects from these alternate realities can wind up in Middleworld, resulting in Middleworld being a smorgasbord of different ideas and settings, opening up lots of different narrative possibilities. I'm not bound by the conventions of science fiction or fantasy or whatever. I, by extension, the current time becomes just as important as where you are and what you're doing. Um, to combat the looming threat of this giant abomination creature, players must traverse Middleworld and recruit others also destined to face it uh, in an open-ended and non-linear experience. I explore themes of memory, the concept of the self, and destiny. Uh, I've spent this past year working with my advisor to create the story, characters, and themes of this alternate world. While unfortunately I wasn't able to complete the entire game, uh, I do plan on continuing it at a later point. My scope ended up just being much larger than the year allowed because it's such a cool concept. I want to utilize it to its fullest potential. I do have the very beginning of the game complete though, which I'll present to you in a moment. Uh, the prototype was developed using the open source Twine engine, which is used for many modern works of interactive fiction and can play it on any device, which it makes it ideal. But I've written the documentation and things that I've been working on where I could translate it to a graphical adventure game if I so chose. I'm using the Twine engine, which is a combination of HTML, JavaScript, and Twine's custom scripting language, uh, which is works for me. I'm a game design major, computer science minor, makes it easy for me. Uh, yeah, I have the just the beginning of the game here, um, and I won't go through the whole thing because there's not enough time, but I can give you a little bit. I'll do the beginning. So it is dark. It pierces every part of your soul. You are a tiny light in an endless sea of darkness. You focus on yourself, your own light. It is warm and comforting. You focus deeper. Your hearing gradually returns, and a deep voice penetrates the darkness, emanating from your own light. Who are you? Well, I am Ben. Uh, so you start the game with a kind of quiz inspired by stuff like the old Elder Scrolls games, where I'm giving different scenarios, and depending on how the player reacts, uh, that changes the stats that you start with. Um, yeah, there's some other stuff. Yes, so I will. So yeah, you're given a bunch of different options, and I won't go into all the stats. Uh, and you wake up. So you stand before a mysterious arch, like a tunnel. It seems to lead somewhere. However, everything after the first 6 feet or so is completely obscured by a dark mist. On either side of the arch, as well as above it, the mist extends in all directions. A chill goes down your spine. Below you is a cobble path, stone, leading right up to the edge of the mysterious arch. Where the path leads is obscured by mist of the regular sorts. Uh, yeah, these are the stats I ended up with. So this semester for me has been working on uh, fleshing out the story of the game. Uh, this is still kind of a more broad overview, like really the main story beats without a lot of the actual dialogue. I'll have to write a full script at a later time, but I have like a prologue, and then every character has their own quests that it all weaves together. It's a non-linear. You can do them in any order, but they do interact with each other. Uh, they may be helpful or less than helpful, depending on the order that you do them. And in the end, everyone in your party comes together to fight this uh, giant creature called the Abomination. Thank you for your time. Look forward to the game's release. Thank you.